So we'll keep the time.
Okay. Scenario is a medical student wants to know about the use of unlicensed medicine in pediatric practice, or he's upset about the use of one medicine which is unlicensed, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so medical student name is John.
Hiren.
Okay, Hiren. Fine. All right, once you are ready, I will start the time.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Dr. Sandeep, one of the registrars here. I believe I'm talking to Hiren.
Yes, Dr. Sandeep. I am.
Yes, Hiren. How is your pediatric rotation going on?
Yes, it is going nice, Dr. Sandeep. I am enjoying it.
Yes, I am happy to know that. I'm really happy to meet you, a keen student like you. I heard you have some concerns regarding the management in the ward. So I thought I just come to you and ask you if you have any concern. I can answer if I can.
Yes, Doctor. First of all, thanks for sparing time for discussion with
Very
me.
welcome.
Yes, I'm quite concerned about. I saw, Doctor, there was one medicine called methotrexate, uh,
Mm-hmm.
which was going on for uh, one patient who has um, ulcerative colitis and the Crohn's disease, like inflammatory bowel disease.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. I mean, methotrexate is kind of the cancer medicine, and which we generally use for condition like leukemia and all. So why it is being used in a condition like inflammatory bowel disease?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm quite having confusion about this use of unlicensed medicine. I have seen in past a couple of weeks posting in my pediatric ward, like many
Yes,
times they
yes,
choose unlicensed
yes,
medicine. So what is that
yes,
unlicensed medicine, doctor?
yes. You are quite observant. That is actually very good. And this is a very important topic actually. Would you like some your colleagues to be with us for in this topic, in this discussion?
Yeah, I would be happy, but all of them they are busy right now.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
you can talk to me, doctor.
Okay, Hiren, can you tell me what do you know so far about these unlicensed medications?
I have no idea, doctor. I just
Uh,
know it should not be used in children.
okay, okay, that's not an issue. We are here to learn. Actually, unlicensed medications are the medications which we use in pediatric or in children. However, they are not studied in the children, but they have the studies done in adult and they are found to be safe. Uh, are you following me, Hiren?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. So some of the medications which are used in adult, they are simultaneously used in children for the benefits for some of the illnesses. Like you observed, like this methotrexate. Also, sometimes we use ciprofloxacin for sepsis, and we sometimes use sildenafil for the persistent pulmonary hypertension. You might have seen these drugs being used. Am I right?
Yes, I have seen. Yes,
So, like these drugs have not been studied in children, still they are being used because we want the drugs to have benefits in those type of conditions. Because, like, if you don't use that drug in that particular condition, the child's illness may worsen, or sometimes it can be life-threatening also. So, in order to pass on the benefits, we use such drugs. Is this clear to you?
yes, doctor. But you know, the child are like kind of a small baby, and that if we use this type of medicine for which we don't have data, for which we don't
Hmm.
have any safety. profile for that medicine, don't you think
Mm-hmm.
it can be very dangerous and harmful for the child?
Yes, yes, Hiren, your question is absolutely right, and I appreciate that. However, these drugs are found to be safe in adults, and if the side effect profile is not that bad, we expect that in children the side effect profile also remain low. And if we consider that side effect profile, the benefits outweigh the side effects. So, in order to have benefits, we use such medications. And these medications are listed in British National Formulary. It's not like a one person's instinct or one person's decision to use such medication. So these are the references from British National Formulary. Is this point clear to you, Hiren?
Yes, doctor. So, doctor, what is the difference between
Mhm.
off-label drug and unlicensed drug?
Uh, Hiren, actually, I need to refer my notes for this question. I will read about it and get back to you. Is that okay to you?
Yeah, yeah, it is fine, doctor. Yes.
Okay. So can you tell me, like, why these unlicensed medications are being used, and why not we wait for the license to why not wait till the license we get for the use? Can you guess?
Uh, I believe the lack of the children uh, in participation of the trial, or probably parental refusal for involvement of their children under this trial, that might be causing the delay in getting license.
Yes, yes, Hiren. Yeah, this may be one of the points. However, licensing a drug is a very long process. It goes through various phases. Like it has to undergo various trials, and trials involves three phases: phase one, phase two, phase three. Do you have any idea about the this trial phases?
No, no, doctor.
Okay, I'll just explain to you briefly. Phase one is like we use the drug or few uh, participant to identify the pharmacodynamics. And in phase two, later on phase two, we study the side effect profile. And in phase three, we compare the drug with the current available treatment. So these all the three phases take very long time, and in certain cases we cannot wait for the long period to get the drug licensed, because what is better, waiting for the drug to get licensed and avoiding the drug being used in the children and having some more problems with the kids, or just use the drug which is safe in the adults? What do you feel?
Yes, yes, I agree with your point, but still, I feel that safety also needs to be established because
Yes,
there are some
yes.
medicine like steroid which are
Mm.
safely used in the adults, but if it is used in the newborn baby, sometimes it can be dangerous, which the child cannot tell. But later on, when they grow big, we come to know that this could have been resulted because of the side effect of that medicine, and that becomes a very late, and it could become irreversible at that time to rectify that.
Yes, yes, you are absolutely right. Safety is a concern, but we use the unlicensed medications for very few indications, not all indications. Also, there is a new law the government has brought that any medication which is licensed from for adult, they have to submit a plan how can come up with the studies for the children. Like any new drug they register, they have to submit the plan for children also, like when they will do the trial, how they will do the trial. So we can expect more and more research in coming time, so that this safety issue can be resolved. Are you following me, Hiren?
Yes, yes, yes.
So
So,
Hiren, do you have any other concern?
no, no, doctor.
Okay, so like we have discussed very important points here. Can you summarize so that I can understand we are on the same page?
Yes, I think we discussed about the three phases of the about the licensing process, and also we discussed about why it is getting delayed for the children, and what does it mean by of unlicensed medicine.
Yes, yes, Hiren, you are quick learner. Why don't you prepare a seminar so that we can have it in the our meetings and your colleagues will get benefit out of it?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Doctor. Actually, if you can help me, we prepare one
Yes,
presentation on that.
sure, sure, we can do that. And thank you for time. And you can always come to me for further questions. And I must thank you for refreshing my knowledge.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Sandeep. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, so Dr. Sandeep, you did good introduction and about the information regarding the what does it mean about licensing process and about three phases as well as the new that all were correct and nicely you told. Only few comments regarding like one was off level, which you correctly, since you were not quite clear about that, so you rightly said that you will refer your note and will come back. And other thing is like this is medical student scenario. So initially I thought like you forgot this approach, like you will ask the question to me and kind of teaching sort of. But later on, you came back to and you started asking me what one or two question you asked. One question I remember. So that was like good. Later on, I thought maybe you will go the whole scenario around
Lecture.
like a parents.
Hmm. So
Good.
initially, I asked, but you said I don't have any idea, so I need to explain you some more. So
That
maybe that
is
consume more
like,
time actually.
yes, yes. That was I took as a like checking prior
Right,
knowledge. But in this student, we ask a couple of more question, no? Like each
right, right.
point.
We have to ask little more questions. Right.
Yeah. So
See, what is this off label?
yeah, I'm just reading here. The off label means the medication is being used in a manner not specified in the FDA's approved packaging label. So, FDA is approval for IV, but the same medicine is not, let's say, not given for oral medicine. Like for the like example of vancomycin. I was reviewing
Mm-hmm.
vancomycin for this, Clostridium difficile and pseudomembranous.
Mm-hmm.
So I could not find much of the things, but like in online web, many things they have given. Like many of the people, they are using same vial of vancomycin as a oral preparation, and
Okay, okay,
most of them they have found very good result.
okay,
But if you see, there is nowhere label is there like vancomycin that same
okay.
vial you can use as a oral. Same way, I think
Oh.
gluconate and some medicine also
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
not labeled for oral preparation, but you are using that like that.
Okay.
Dr. Irfan, do you have any idea about this off label? Dr. Irfan is there?
I'll share one leaflet of this unlicensed medication. Huh?
He's not there. Okay.
Off-label means that the medicine is being used in a way that is different to that described in the license. You are correct. Like
Hmm.
medicine is meant for IV and it is used for is orally. Right, correct. And unlicensed means like the medicine is not licensed but used for the children. A medicine has a license but needs to be made to be taken and analyzable. Okay, we can read this. A little complicated. I will share this later.
Hmm. And they are saying this
Methotrexate and all, no, they are like, there is a wide use. Some psoriasis also you will see use of methotrexate. You will use even for some inflammatory bowel disease, many condition, not
Okay.
as anti-cancer therapy, but there is
Hmm.
no explained role, but they are using, even though which is probably not licensed for that condition, but widely used.
Yes.
The other two example you already said, like one sildenafil you said, ciprofloxacin also you mentioned very nicely about the risk versus like benefit outweigh the risk. So it was good.
Any other question can come here?
Uh,
I think we covered most of the questions.
yeah, most of the part we covered. So good.
So would you like to do audit or we will do? I have some time,
Yeah,
or we
audit.
can like you have to go to office, so if, you are tired. You will do tomorrow, no problem.
Audit we can finish. There is no issue. I'm okay with audit.
Or the other last scenario also, that is also fine.
Which scenario?
Haloperidol drug error.
Haloperidol. I did not. I mean, I just. It's for you.
Audit you can do audit.
Yeah, I am fine with audit. If you are ready with
Okay.
haloperidol, also I am okay with that. I will be role player.
We'll do audit, no problem. That haloperidol, we just have to fight with the parent. Audited, some information is there actually.
Okay, fine.
So take 2 minutes.
Okay.
So medical student is assigned a topic of audit of the hand washing, and he needs your help for the seminar.
Okay.
He
Take,
come to he does not have idea about the audit, what is audit and how to conduct it, what are the steps. So discuss.
so seminar about the hand hygiene and hand washing. He's
Yeah,
planning to do. And medical student.
audit in hand hygiene,
Okay, fine, fine.
departmental audit.
Okay. So medical student name Sandeep. Fine. Okay. So hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I am Dr. Hiren. I think I met you, Sandeep, during the rounds. So how?
Yes, doctor. We have met. You are my mentor actually. I am happy to be learn from you.
Thanks for your gesture, Sandeep. You are really keen student, and I came to know that you are interested to learn about the audit about hand hygiene and hand washing.
Yes, doctor. I have been assigned this topic to prepare audit regarding hand hygiene and present as a seminar. But doctor, I don't have much idea about how to conduct this audit. So if you can help me, it will be a great help.
Yes, Sandeep. First of all, I really appreciate your interest about learning in this topic. And what about your other colleagues? If they are interested, you can ask them to join.
No,
Shall
doctor. No, they will listen in the seminar. No problem.
okay. Okay. So Sandeep, before we start, what do you know about audit?
Doctor, this audit, like I have read few things like this is done to find out what we do in our department, and I think we have to collect the data regarding the same, and we have to analyze something like that. I have read, but please explain to me in proper way.
Yes, you are very much right. I really appreciate your knowledge. So audit is a part of quality improvement process. Okay.
Okay.
So do you know how we do that quality improvement process? How we do audit?
No, doctor. Like we don't know how we do it.
Yeah. So, first of all, we identify the problem, like what is the existing problem or the topic of interest. Like here, you have identified about hand hygiene. Then we compare it with the standard, like what is the ideal standard it should be performed in a way, and then we compare what is the existing practice. Like in here you choose a hand hygiene, so first we need to know what are the standard steps which needs to be followed, and then we will review our existing practice, what we are practicing, and then we
Okay.
compare to that and we find the differences, and after that we try to rectify those differences, and then we do reanalysis. Are you with
Okay.
me, Sandeep?
Yes, 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 doctor. So, doctor, like how it is beneficial for our day-to-day practice, this audit?
This is very good question. uh, it is very important and it is very helpful by uh, identifying first of all different kind of the issues and the problem, and measuring that problems and the data of analysis in comparison with the standard practices, that helps us to identify where we are lacking and what we are lacking. If we know that what we are lacking and where we are lacking, then we can find the different ways to solve that, to fill that gap. Am I clear? Are
Mhm.
you with me, Sandeep?
Yes, 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 doctor. Like when we do the audit and implement the change, then that is the final step, or like we will reassess again anything to follow up again.
Yeah. So it is a like constant ongoing quality improvement process. So what actually we do, like when we identify after comparison to the standard measures and the standard practices, when we know these elements are lacking, then we try to implement that, and after implementation again what we do is we do re-audit. So it's a kind of a cycle, it's
Okay.
a cycle.
Yes.
So first
Okay. Mhm.
identifying of the problem, then again after that comparison, and after this comparison again uh, it will be like uh, intervention what we take, and after
Yes.
taking intervention then we do the re-audit.
Okay, doctor. Like hand hygiene topic is given to me. Then if I ask my colleagues and my staff nurse that how do you hand wash and how much time you hand wash, will they not get offended, doctor?
This is a very valid point, Sandeep, you have raised. It might happen like some of staff may not like it, but it doesn't mean that we should not follow the ideal standard. We can rectify this issue by making them aware, by teaching them, or by providing information in the form of the leaflet or short meetings. And I think if we bring awareness, they will follow about this. What do you think?
Yes, doctor, you are right. You are giving me very nice inputs, doctor. The one more last question, doctor. Like this audit, I feel it's like research only. Then what is the difference between this audit and research?
Yes, this is a very good question, Sandeep. Research is something searching about the new knowledge, but audit is not the search of the new knowledge, but it is about uh, measuring about the like kind of the quality, or about the measuring about what we are lacking and what uh, we are practicing in context and comparison to the standard practices.
Mm-hmm.
Am I clear, Sandeep?
Yes, yes, doctor, you're clear. I got most of the idea, doctor. Thank you for your help.
So that's
I
a very
think I can do it.
welcome, Sandeep. I think I have given you a lot of information. We can, uh, what we can do, I will give you some of the trusted website, and you can little bit do more search about this, and we can arrange a seminar also. If you need my help, I can join you in the library, and together we can prepare the seminar about this, and probably it would be helpful to other team member also. Am I right?
Yes, 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 doctor. Thank you, doctor. Thank you for your help.
Welcome, Sandeep. So, if you don't mind, can you summarize like what we have discussed today?
Yes, doctor. You explained to me audit. Audit is like we have to find out what we are doing and compare with the standard and the 5 steps of the audit. And you have told me that it's a continuous process and how we can conduct it, how we will go about it. And you also promised me to help me. Thank you, doctor, for that.
Uh, you are most welcome, Sandeep. So, thanks for your time. And any point of time, if you need further help, don't hesitate to contact. I would be happy to arrange a next meeting.
Yes, doctor. Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
How much
9 minutes हो गया बराबर.
time?
9 minutes हो गया बराबर.
Okay,
I
okay.
did not interrupt you at 6 minutes. Just
Uh-huh.
to see whether we will finish in time. So it was good. Very nice. Uh, I think you have prepared it very nicely. So the diagram we can draw always in the exam here because of our this board and we
Mhm.
cannot draw it properly.
Yeah.
So you explained it nicely regarding, but like initially you have been told that the student has already assigned a seminar. You should not ask for the attendance, like, because they are going to be in the seminar. So if seminar is arranged and this student needs help in seminar, don't ask for to join the colleagues or other students.
Okay.
And again, in the end, same thing. Like he has already been assigned the seminar. You said like we can prepare a seminar about it.
Mm.
So the task we should remember.
Right, right, right.
Other things were good, like explanation and all. 5 steps of audit, like identify a topic, find the standards, collect the data, analyze the data, implement the change, and then re-audit. This all steps were explained nicely. One thing we can add here, like identify the topic. How we will identify the topic? You can ask them how we will identify that topic. What are the what are the criteria we employ to identify a topic? The topic should be specific, measurable, attainable, like something like the smart. It's applied here or somewhere else. This
No, you are
I think
talking
I'm mixing the quality improvement with this.
some sort of there is one talk
Yeah, some
regarding
confusion. Sorry.
goal.
Uh, yeah. Sorry. That mixing was there.
Yeah.
But it was good. Like difference between research and audit. That one more thing, like it to research can occur at multiple places. Audit is at one place only.
Mhm.
The research is finding the new things that you told. Audit is the thing which we are already doing. Good. The closure was also good. Nice. Very well prepared.
Okay, thanks. I just want to ask you